Today I'm going to tell you guys about the story of how the NHL record for most goals in a single playoff game was pulled off by somebody who was drunk. For context, this story was extremely hard to corroborate. It's mostly legend and lore, but considered by many to be 100% true. So let's go back to May of 1976. The Flyers and Bruins are battling it out in a deadly series to see who will move on and face the Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup final. The Flyers had just won the Cup last year, so they're going for the back-to-back, and this was the era of the Broad Street Bullies. They had tough guys like Dave the Hammer Schultz, Bob Hound Dog Kelly, Don Selesky, and even Bobby Clarke, who also led the team in points. But no one was as valuable to this team as their goal-scoring leader, Reggie Leach. With 61 tucks in just 80 games in the regular season, Leach was essential to this club beating Boston. He was their fucking sniper. And pretty quick, the Flyers had managed to get a 3-1 stranglehold over Boston in the series, which meant all they needed to do was win Game 5 in Philly on May 6th, and off to the finals they'd go for a chance to become back-to-back champs. So the day comes, May 6th, the boys head off to the rink, and pretty quick they start looking around and notice that Reggie, their leading goal scorer, is nowhere to be found. Now, Reggie was notorious for drinking and partying, so the boys had a pretty good idea of where he'd be and what kind of shape he'd be in. But they needed him to beat the Bruins, so Bobby Clarke tells the fellas, hey, boys, relax, sit tight. I'm going to go find Reggie. I'm going to bring him up here. It's going to be all good. So Bobby hops in his car. He leaves the rink and heads over to Reggie's apartment. He knocks on the door, but there's no answer. He knocks again. Nothing. He's yelling outside, Reggie, it's me, Bobby. We got a game. Wake up. And finally, he starts to hear somebody stumbling over towards the door. The door creaks open and Bobby can see half of Reggie's face. He's got half of an eye open, and he can barely speak. But all that he mutters is, what the fuck do you want, Bobby? Bobby walks into the apartment, and he sees beer cans scattered all across the apartment like it was a landfill. And he just looks at Reggie and goes, we need you, buddy. We got a game. We got Game 5 against the Bruins. If we win this, we're going to the finals, and we can't do it without you. Reggie looks at Bobby and just goes, no fucking way, man, as he's lying back on the bed with his hands on his head, trying to caress the pounding headache that he's got going on. Now, Bobby's a smart guy. He kind of prepared for this. He had a feeling that Reggie might feel this way about the game. So what did he do? He pulls a bottle out from his pocket, and he instructs Reggie to drink. Reggie starts swinging him back, and pretty quick, he was feeling back to himself. As they call it, that's the old hair of the dog trick. So after a handful of more swigs, Reggie ended up feeling good enough to put his clothes on, splash some water in his face, and off to the rink he was with Bobby. Now, when they get to the rink, the coach, Fred Sherrow, is absolutely up in arms. Reggie, what the fuck were you doing last night? Where the fuck were you? Are you still drunk? You're not fucking playing, all that stuff. And I'm not sure if Bobby told Sherrow that he gave him liquor or he just told him he's hungover. But what I do know is whatever Bobby said to the coach convinced Sherrow to let Reggie play. And then what happened next changed hockey history forever, because Reggie went out and scored 5 goals, possibly drunk, which is the all-time record for most goals in a single playoff game ever. So they'd go on to beat the Bruins in this game 6-3, and then they'd actually go on to lose to the Canadiens in the Cup final in a 4-game sweep, which sucks, but that's not the end of the story, because Reggie didn't just end this playoffs with 1 record. He ended this playoffs with 2 records, which is 19 goals in 16 games, an all-time record for most goals in a single playoffs, and that still stands today, in which arguably he accomplished drunk.
We lost to a hell of a hockey club, and they deserve it. They're the best team. And
Reggie ended his career with 381 goals and 666 points in 934 games. Today, Reggie is completely sober, and he spends a lot of time talking in interviews about his past and why alcohol can be so dangerous. So good for him. Love to see that he's doing well. This story is just that, a story. Is it 100% true? I don't know for sure. I hope so, but I don't know for sure. It does seem to be one that has gone pretty mainstream, as even the announcers from back in the day have been recorded talking about this event. but it is a story based off of rumors, and the only two people that can actually confirm it would be Bobby Clark or Reggie Leach. Let me know what you guys think about this story down below in the comments section. If you enjoyed it and you want to hear other crazy stories from the NHL, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're going to be uploading a lot of these. Thanks, fellas.